Hello, everyone.
Cheers.
1 minute till start time here. Hello out there on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, Talk Shop Live.
In my living room.
We are live from Nashville, Tennessee with country music superstar Ty Herndon.
International
superstar Ty Herndon to talk about his brand new book, Ty Herndon, What Mattered Most. It's out March 31st, 2026, but you can get it right now, signed right here on Talk Shop Live, Talk Shop Live.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. And what a process it was to write it. It all started,
Cheers, everyone. Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas. We'll be taking your questions in the chat as much as we can. Oh, folks are already ordering. We really appreciate that. Talk about the process of writing this book. How did it come about? Had you always planned to write a book, and sort of why now?
Well, when you're sitting at home in your living room and you look at 30 years of work, you wonder, Lord, does anybody want to hear this story? And I guess you guys do. So I got a phone call one day. Yes, we had been trying to do a book of some kind over the last 15 years. And my great friend David Ritz, I didn't know him then, but he saw the story in People magazine.
Yep.
And he looked me up and called me out, and I love it. He said, "You got something to say, and I need to hear it. And I need to write about it." So the process began almost 2 years ago with many conversations. And wow, I can tell you this: if you ever want to understand your life, to do a book.
That's right. Now, the People magazine story Ty's talking about was in 2022. It was a story of some trials and tribulations that happened for you during and after COVID. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the first question is, who did the decorations?
The husband put the trees on the piano for me, and I very nervously got up on a ladder and did it. You can't see it right now, but this goes up like about probably
15, 20 feet.
15, 20 feet, 152 inches. I don't know. I made some curtains.
Oh, yeah, right.
But it's a nice downtown view. But we decided the last couple of years to put the trees on top of the grand piano, and it's everybody goes, "Whoa, how'd you get those?"
You can't see right now, but it does look like the Griswolds around here. Nashville Electric Service will have a very Merry Christmas.
Well, when you read this book, you'll understand why it took so long to get a home and get a house that we love so much. So they say over the years the Christmas decorations kind of dwindle down, but in my case, they're probably going to go.
They're multiplying. So just a couple of housekeeping things. If you're on Talk Shop Live, you can click the shop button to buy, and we see folks doing that. We're going to get to your questions in just a second. I'm cataloging them in my head as they come through. If you're on Facebook, you can comment the word shop, and you'll get the link to order in your feed there. If you're on Instagram, the link is in the bio. And if you're on YouTube, you can click the link in the description. Okay, let's get into this. Am I good at this?
You're good at this. Entertainment Tonight, here he comes.
My name is Zeke. I'm actually a friend of Ty and his manager. And we met a little over 10 years ago because I was vice president of GLAAD at the time. And we'll talk about that story in a minute. But I want to start with the title of the book.
Yes.
It's the same title as your debut single from 1995, number one single, What Mattered Most. Talk about that moment in your life. It's chronicled in the book. Talk about it here.
It's so interesting because we talked and talked and talked. What's this book going to be called? And it was just, it ended up being so obvious because it was my very first number one single. And the great Gary Burr and Vince Malamade wrote this song. It's been released 3 times and now a book. And so it's just crazy how much a single song, number one, can change your life and become an imprint of almost everything you do through the years. It was a huge song, and I'm so grateful to have it. So, but man, how would I've ever known here 30 years later that it would be the title of my story, What Mattered Most. And it has truly been a journey of what does matter. And you'll find out through the process of these pages that people, as I love their dog over there, he's agreeing. You'll find out that the journey landed exactly where it was supposed to.
There's a great story in the book that you tell sometimes in your shows about getting your first record deal when you got the chance to record What Mattered Most as your first single. Talk about that for a minute.
Wow. Number one, somebody's hungry over there.
We got a hungry dog.
Hey, husband, come feed the dog. Anyhow, What Mattered Most. Wow. I drove to Nashville. I won Texas Entertainer of the Year in 1994. And I went to Nashville for a quick trip in my truck. They asked me to come do a live audition. And I came to Nashville, and there I was standing in a conference room. Hey, buddy. Hey, Alex. That's what we do around here. Y'all do that at home? Hey, honey.
This is a working household. We're broadcasting from.
Come get the dog.
Not a fancy studio, so it's all good.
Yeah, so I drove to Nashville, and just was not a lot of hope that they would even sign me because I was 30 years old at the time, or 29, and I ended up getting a record deal and from a live audition, and that started everything. So it's the story's in the book.
Stories in the book. Hey, Wanda Adams, good to see you on. Brenda K. Brenda K says, if someone reads your book and feels less alone afterward, what would that mean to you? Wow.
Everything. I mean, that's the imprint of this book, to know that you're not alone, and to know that there is so much hope, and there's people around you that you don't even realize that are there, because when you're in the darkest of moments, everything kind of shuts down. But when I had the chance to do a little, what I call soul work, got this and this connected with my spiritual realm, man, the lights came on, and I couldn't believe all the beautiful people and souls that were standing around me, supporting me and loving me, really just through it all. And I in that moment, I don't think I'd ever feel alone again, but I'd never felt so hugged and loved. I mean, that's a true story. Wow.
Wow. Delaney wants to know, I think it was Delaney. It's going pretty fast. We're trying to keep up. So I appreciate y'all. If your question hasn't been answered, there's a chance it flew by too fast and we didn't see it. So just drop it in again and we'll try. But I think Delaney asked, are there any news-making revelations in the book? We can't say now what they are, but.
Ooh, girl. Yeah. I think this book has been described from a few of my friends that have read it. This kind of quote, this is a great quote. It's fried green tomatoes, still magnolias, a touch of Pretty Woman, and all covered in the Kardashians.
And maybe a little Real Housewives.
A little Real Housewives.
Lisa Rinna's coming on after us with her book. So perfect tie-in.
Yes.
Ty, there's a main character in the book besides yourself that appears from the very beginning and never leaves your side, and that is Peggy Herndon, Mama Peggy, Miss Peggy to all of us.
She's watching tonight.
I hope she's watching tonight and is proud of us. Talk about her journey alongside you and what she's meant to you through the years and what she means now.
Well, I'm sure we all, no matter if it's our mom or not, have that one person that is fearless and will tell you the truth no matter what. And even in the darkest of times, they show up. And that's my mama. She's not only for me, but for so many of my friends and my sister Alicia. I mean, she's iconic in her own way. And I think we touch on that a lot, maybe a little codependent we are on each other, but that makes for, not only is she my mom and I love her, but she's my friend. And I think if you can land in a place with the person that brought you into this world, and you know they can still take you out, and know that that at this time in her life, I'm good and I'm healthy and she can depend on me. I mean, that's, boy, is she getting payback.
That wasn't always the case. So those stories are in the book, y'all. You're going to love it. It's a country music memoir like you haven't read before. I can promise you that. We're going to get deep in a few minutes with some stories from the book, but there's some great questions coming in. I think Nancy D wanted to know, what's your favorite song to perform live?
Whew. Well, normally I don't even get to sing them. Y'all do. I was at a Trisha Yearwood concert the other night, and She's in Love with the Boy was louder than any sound system, and y'all do that for me. It's just crazy, but I still love singing Man Holding On to a Woman Letting Go. I love singing Living in a Moment. I love singing What Mattered Most, because I know how much it means to you guys, and for me, they're the imprint. I mean, I had a show the other night and 5 people were there that Living in a Moment was actually performed in their wedding.
Wow.
So to have an imprint song like that on people's hearts, wow, it's incredible. So yeah, all 3 of those and many more.
Marley T wants to know, hi there. What surprised you the most about yourself as you wrote this book?
The many read-throughs, and doing a timeline, because when things get as crazy mentally for you to have no idea of a timeline. So doing a timeline really helped me a lot. But I think to answer your question, just the gut wrenching moments of actually sitting on the floor in this house and on FaceTime with David, the many hours that were put in, and fine tuning. To go back to when I'm 10 years old, it's amazing what things like EMDR, which if you guys don't know, that's just kind of a hypnotic state. What you can remember. This is I got my mama's brain, but part of it was shut down, but it's alive and well now. But I think anybody that's done a book and really got honest, and when I say honest, I'm talking, I'm so grateful for everyone that's been in my life, some that are still in my life and a lot that aren't, but I found so much gratitude. And I really got to know the other side of, like, I'm me. So I live in this moment, but I got to be outside of myself and be in their moment. And it's just the most life-changing thing ever. Gosh, I can't wait to sit down with Drew Barrymore.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we can talk about it.
Drew, if you're watching, we're ready to come on the show. Raquel S. wants to know, are you doing a book tour? The answer to that is yes.
Yes.
We're hoping it will be as many as 30 cities. We've already started lining them up, and we'll be announcing some things soon. And Nora wanted to know, Nora D, do you ever get nervous when you go on stage?
I don't when I sing, but I'm nervous tonight because, I can sing a song and transcend myself into, as my mama said, when you record a song, you put your heart on that microphone. You're not just telling your story, son. You're telling so many people's stories. So I kind of feel like you're in my living room and I'm just singing songs. But this has been a process that I don't think, maybe nervous is not the right word. I'm just anxious for you guys to read this book. And I hope that you hear my heart in it. And I hope that you feel like you're my best friend when you're at the end of it. Because I can promise you, probably halfway through the book, you're probably going to want to punch me in the face. But,
okay, all right.
Hang in there.
I'm gonna take that opportunity to read a passage. Is it all right if I read a passage to you and have you react to it?
Oh wow. Okay, you're going to make me cry.
It's going to be all right. We didn't put Kleenexes by the piano. I'm going to read you all the opening of the book. Is that all right?
Wow. Okay.
It's the first chapter is called "The Long Walk Home," and it says, "I'd love for you to love me. I'd love for you to see me as just a good old country boy without a care in the world. I'd love for you to feel my evangelical energy, the spirit I first felt as a little boy. My energy runneth over. Glory, hallelujah.
Glory, hallelujah.
I'd love for that spirit to make me look good. And yet, and this is the scary part, this book will definitely not make me look good. This book is going to make me look confused, afraid, terrified, lost, and dishonest. To tell my story truthfully, I need to be honest about my decades of dishonesty. I need to dredge up old traumas. I need to revisit darkness from my past. I need to let you know how I repeatedly messed up after promising never to mess up again. I want to leave out all the times that I fell back into destruction. I'm embarrassed by how long I believed I had it all together when in fact I was falling apart. I'm afraid you'll give up on me and just put the book down, but don't. Don't. It gets better." Whew. And he says, "It's a long walk to the truth. This is the task I've taken up, documenting that walk, presenting myself as I was and as I am, a broken man, a healed man who got broken and only to heal again, a cycle and a circle that went on for a very long time." And that's the opening of the book. You wrote those words, obviously. How does it feel to hear them?
It feels good. It actually feels really good because it's very much the truth. I didn't like me. In real life, yes, but I really struggled the first half of this book because I wanted it to be so real and presented to you guys as it was. And to do that, I had to really do some healing on my own to know and to understand that that's not where I'm at anymore. But this is a story about how I got to where I'm at today. And I couldn't tell this story without going to some really dark rooms and opening up some doors that I didn't want to go back into. But when you go back into them and you're safe, it brings so much light and the healing begins. So this book not only is a story for you guys to read, but this was a huge part of my healing for, gosh, in my healthy self, hopefully for as long as I'm here, many years. So I'm really excited for you guys to take this journey with me, and to really actually for the first time ever to know me, and the good, the bad, the victories, the slippery slopes, and all of the amazing characters that we're bringing to life in this, because let me tell you, they're very well living alive in me.
It took a couple years to write this book. Somebody asked that question. We started it in 2022, actually.
Yeah.
And it took a few minutes to get it done. But I will tell you, we had to stop many times reading early drafts because it's just so emotional and so painful to relive those moments on the page. Why is it important for you to share those moments so candidly with the public? Why did you feel like doing that right now? We got that question. Why now?
Well, I mean, it was like in 2014 when I made the decision with Zeke and Shelly Wright and so many good friends around me, Mitchell Gold, to let the world know a little bit more about me. And you guys found out that I was a vegetarian.
That's not true.
No, I came out in 2014, and it was a painstaking journey because I was taking a chance that you wouldn't love me anymore. And the one thing that I've always wanted is through music, just to love me, and all the rhetoric and all the bad things. That's all I knew. This is what was going on in my ear. And over here, there was so much love I didn't know about. So why now? Because I know about it all now. And it's really important that if you're 90 years old, if you're 15 years old, that you read this and through my story, know that there is a lot of love. There is so much support. And I just didn't know it was there. And I'm not talking about with my family and people that are close to me. I'm talking about just an ocean of it. And so this is what this book is about.
If you're on Talk Shop Live, hit that shop button to pre-order the book, What Mattered Most. It comes out March 31st, 2026.
It's here almost.
You can get a signed copy tonight. This is the only place that you can get a signed copy at the cover price of at the cover price of $29.99. So I feel
always
like
take your tea bag out of your cup, or you might swallow it.
I feel like I'm on QVC or something. If you're on Facebook, comment the word shop and you'll get a link to order. If you're on Instagram, there's a link in the bio. And if you are on YouTube, you can click the link in description and claim your copy tonight while we're here live. There's a lot of seriousness in the book. But
I can't believe it's almost here.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
A little over 90 days.
It's such a celebration.
There's a lot of serious stories in the book and a lot of somber moments, but there's a lot of funny moments too.
Yeah.
And one of them actually has to do with your friend Leanne Rimes, who re-recorded What Mattered Most with you this year for your album 30. Talk about that moment in 1995 or 96 when Blue was breaking through. Stories in the book, full story, but tell a little bit about that funny story.
Well, number one, I've known Leanne since she was, I guess, about 10 years old. I was living in Texas, and she was just, trying to break in the business, and at that age. And so, just brilliant. But Blue, that hit and went crazy. And we were doing about a 2-week tour together. We were just out doing Vegas and all these fun places. And I noticed that there were like 20,000 people showing up. And I knew that I knew that they weren't exactly coming to see me, all of them anyway. So Leah, I used to roller skate with her and up around the places we were playing. And so we were talking one day, and she just basically said, "Mr. Ty, you're now the opening act."
So she thought you should switch places.
Absolutely.
And did you?
Her dad did. Her dad thought we should. I graciously just loved her. So I became I went first, and she would come out and sing What Mattered Most with me every night, and the crowd would go crazy. So it made the most sense on 30 that she was the first person to say yes, and she absolutely stunningly killed it.
All right. If y'all have got questions, I know we missed a bunch of them as they were scrolling through and talking. If you've got some that you want answered, please drop them in. Laura asks, are you and Leanne Rimes still friends?
Oh Lord, yes, yeah. She's in Nashville right now, doing Nashville 911. So
Great
sightings
show.
of Leanne are big in Nashville.
Great show if you haven't seen it. She killed it at the Ryman the other night.
Yes,
Yes,
love the dress.
Yeah, quite a dress. Stephanie says, "Hey, Stephanie, it wouldn't be a book about Ty without some silly, funny moments." There's a lot of them. There really are a lot of them, but there's a lot of seriousness and a lot of
There's so
lessons.
many of them that we have to do a second book, of the silliness and stuff that goes on the road. So
that's right.
Yeah, you guys that know me know that I'm awkwardly I'm awkwardly fun and and just I don't know, what do you say, Stephanie? Just beautifully fun. There we go. We'll say that.
Beautifully fun. Gina asked, "What surprised you the most about yourself as you were writing this?"
Oh, what a great question. The ability to go further and deeper into my heart than I knew possible. To really dig in and be fearless about the truth, and be fearless about my part in the truth, which was 99.9% of the problem. And what surprised me the most would easily be that all along this journey, that I was actually really loving myself. I just didn't know that I was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone just asked, I think Harry, if you're recording new music.
Whew. Okay. Well, for me, volume 1, doing all my hits with friends, was like doing new music, but we're about to start recording. You guys remember I got a Grammy nomination for the Journey On album. That was 2014.
Yeah, 14.
It's been 15 years.
No, yes, something like that. Yeah.
But we're re-releasing, because it's not available. It hasn't been available for the last 5 years, with 3 new songs with some surprise guests and some mind-blowing new music. So, and then volume 2 is coming. So with a couple of original songs. And if you ask me if my mind's blown of all of the things that the universe and God are bringing to the table, I would tell you yes. So
wow.
Merry Christmas.
Harry is throwing it back with a mention of the Tennessee River Boys. There's a lot of the book. It takes place at Opryland when you were there at 17 years old. Talk about
some of the fun stories.
Talk about the journey to Opryland and what that experience was like, because you met a lot of your longtime friends there.
I did. It was my mom saw. I was living in Decatur, Alabama, which Butler, Alabama is my hometown. We were living in Decatur, Alabama, and my mom saw an article in the paper that Opryland was auditioning. So we drove to Birmingham, Alabama, my sister and I, and I got the job. And wow, that's really church, Opryland, Grand Ole Opry, Texas Entertainer of the Year, Sony Music, Epic Records. It was like dominoes falling, and so many beautiful stories in the middle of all that. So Opryland was great, though. I worked there for 4 summers and met friends like Kristen Chenoweth and Shelly Wright and all the boys in Diamond Rio, Little Texas. I mean, there's so many amazing.
And your best friend for life, Carl Peoples.
Yes. Carl Peopleonia Peoples. Yes. Yes, sir. And that's friends for life. So just whew. Speaking of Carl and Bonnie, friends, people that have been here so long, Eric Halbig, because a lot of the things that I needed to put in this book were just shut down for me. So I depended on people that had been there with me, but also had their eyes wide open. And another surprising part about the book was actually doing addendums to the truth that I had lost, and it just made it make more sense. And so really, really eternally grateful for all the amazing hearts that y'all are still here with me.
Thank y'all for hanging in tonight and always. Michael just made a comment writing about addiction and mental health. So honestly, takes a lot of courage. Did you feel courageous when you were doing it? I guess is a good question. And what do you hope fans take away? What do you hope readers take away?
It's the great unknown. I mean, it's, number one, realizing, having awakenings that something is off. For me, for example, I was well into my late 50s when I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I had no idea, and then ADHD. and the list goes on and on. But, you know, getting that adjusted and getting everything, you guys know the Flight of the Bumblebees. It was like slow motion, slowed down, and it was just like all of a sudden I was sailing and everything was making sense. So a lot of that's in the book. Yeah. So getting this connected to this was that for me, that was the miracle, and the miracle makes you brave. So yeah, courageous. I think when you can know the truth in here, you become more courageous, because if you don't, you're full of fear. So fearless is a word I didn't know, you know, up into my late 40s. And fearless doesn't have to be a bad word. Fearless in your spirit, when you're headed in the right direction, and you're feeling strong, healthy, and you know that you're doing things that matter. And when you do things that matter, what you see around you completely changes. And so, I'm still trying to be fearless, because I don't know what the universe and world is bringing my way next, but I'm ready. So there you go.
Awesome. Bruce, we're coming back to Birdland in New York City, I hope really soon. Julie, can't read. Hopefully we'll be back in Salt Lake City soon. Thank y'all for following us. Speaking of mental health and addiction, I would say the crescendo of this book really is New Year's Eve 2020.
Yeah.
And part of this story was told in People magazine. But for the first time, you're painting a real picture of what happened that night. COVID was very difficult for you,
yes,
as it was for so many people. Talk about what happened that night and the angel that saved you.
Oh, where were you when the world stopped turning? I mean, that song was huge during 9/11, but it also, where were you the second day the world stopped turning? I think I'd spent so much time and energy into getting it right, and to getting back in the saddle and having a tour, and I think we had a made-for-TV movie. We had so much going on, and you know, and all of a sudden, we blinked our eyes, and most of us were alone, and we were isolated. I did not know how to be alone and isolated. You know, I was talking to my mom over, you know, like we're doing now, and the mental disorder settled in, and when you feel like everything you've done in your whole life, and this is not a pity story, but I mean, you really feel like you put your whole life into something, and you just want to matter, and you feel like you've done the work for it to matter, and then something crazy like that happens, and it all goes away in the blink of an eye, and you find yourself, and all the lights went out. And I know you guys, I know so many of you know this story, because I know now that I wasn't alone in it at all. But in that blankness, you question your existence. You question, okay, why do I care? Why do I care about any of this? Why do I care about me? And the only thing that felt like home was running back to addiction, to kill the pain, the painkiller, the great painkiller. And I know that when everything gets disconnected, you don't want to exist. You don't, what looks better is heaven. And what looks better is something different. And I was in that place, and yeah. And I was right by this beautiful grand piano that used to belong to the late Jonathan Pierce, great Christian artist, great friend of mine who has gone to heaven. But I sat there with I mean, most people, this was in people. I had a handful of pills, and I was just ready to leave. I was ready to go, and that felt comforting. It felt comfortable. It felt comforting. And now listen.
A perverse comfort.
Yeah, perverse comfort.
Yeah.
But those of you who are, who have lost loved ones in your life, you know, no matter how you look at it, you know, if you you could just be sitting on the couch watching TV and you feel a little warmness, you know, and you feel like, oh my gosh, I just got a kiss. I just got an angel kiss. Well, that happened that evening. I lost a really beautiful family member to accidental drug situation, and I got a visit, and it was so beautiful. And then I got a phone call, and the next 2 days later, I'm in Houston, Texas, at J. Flowers Institute, working on my mental health and surviving. And I didn't want to do music anymore, because I was like, that was part of the darkness for me. I just didn't care about it anymore. I was like, I've tried this. It's not working. Boy, I had no idea how much it was working. As I sat down with my spiritual counselor on the first week, there he says, what are you going to do with your life? I said, well, it's not going to be music. And he goes, okay. He said, well, I just want to remind you of the story of Jacob. You know, he was just kind of where you are. This is Jacob in the Bible. And I said, are you going to throw something like that at me? I just didn't want to hear it. And Pastor Lagoon said, I know you don't want to hear it, but you're going to hear it. Take another bite of eggs. And by the end of that 2 hours, the story of Jacob, I looked at him and said, that's going to be my next record. I'm gonna pull out of this, and I'm gonna write about my experience. And I became a songwriter. I became a damn good songwriter. And I don't ever want to write anything but the truth ever again. You know, and the music that's coming out of me now, and also in these pages is forever changed me.
I'm just going to read a little passage, if that's all right. From it is a hardcover book. Thank you, Stuart.
Yes.
Ty is going to read this, just not tonight. We're recording the audio book next week.
Yes.
It's still a little raw to hear, right?
It is.
So
yeah.
I'm going to do it for him tonight. But here's a little passage, because I want you to know how well this thing is written. And we'll talk about David Ritz in a minute, because he's just incredible. Ty's co-author, David Ritz. Confusion was everywhere. The shutdown was happening in the world and in me. Night after night, I cried myself to sleep. When I woke, I cried even more. My chest was tight and my throat was parched. I couldn't make a single call, not even to my mom. I was back to thinking about my meth dealer. Don't call your meth dealer, Ty. That would not be a good idea. That would solve nothing, or maybe it would solve everything. Since my body was broken and my brain was broken and my heart was sure as hell broken, why not do the one thing, the only thing that would put me on cloud nine? On cloud nine, I could look down on myself and laugh. I saw the red symbols on the digital clock, December 31st, 2020, and the hour was nearly midnight. New Year's Eve, the perfect time to sink into nothingness. An eerie calm suddenly overcame me. I walked into the bathroom, took a bottle of Ambien, and dropped all 27 pills into the palm of my hand. I filled up a glass of water and was about to start swallowing the pills when my phone somehow made a call. It did so on its own. It must have, because I don't remember making that call. The friend answered and said, Happy New Year, Ty. I said, I need your help. Who was that friend?
And number one, this was 6:30 in the morning. It was the amazing David Carroll, who was the head of Music Cares for so long, and a dear friend still. But I think anytime I think if a musician's going to call you at 6:30 in the morning, something's up, you know. But for the longest time, I just felt like angels made that phone call, whether I dialed it or whether we don't. Either one of us remember making the call. So, but the call was made, and probably 15 minutes into it, she had the great Shireen Janti on the phone, who was making me laugh. She was like, child, you know, come on, let's go down that hall. We're going to flush those. I mean, just literally pulled me into sanity for an hour, and all from an angel to a phone call to a flush to treatment. And I didn't even think I was worthy of treatment. I was like, I can't disappoint. There's too many people that are just going to hate me. I can't fail again. And boy, did I find out I was wrong. And failure is the greatest victory you'll ever have. And in victory, there is everything that you will not even believe is possible.
Now, that's as deep as we're going tonight. There's a lot of other very deep stories and a lot of,
Yes,
I think, headline making stories that are going to come out of this book. We've laughed about it because we think Nashville's nervous about it because they think it's a tell-all, but it's really just a tell-all about you. There's plenty there to work with.
I'm tattling on myself. Yeah. So, I think that when you're in the heart of not being well in addiction, just it spills over into people's lives. And I have no ill will towards anyone. If anything, the greatest gift you can give is amends. And those amends, you're of course helping to heal the relationship, but you're healing yourself. So I like the nervousness, but no, it's not a tell-all. It's more of anything. It's praising the people that helped me get through, even though it might have hurt them.
Now, the career stories are there all the way from What Mattered Most to the latest album. It's all in the book, but it really starts back in Butler, Alabama, Meridian, Mississippi.
And a tent revival, baby.
Tent revival. And
the house that built me.
We're not going to get into that story tonight, but the book kicks off with an amazing story about, you were 7 years old at the time, or 10? 10 years old? Tent revival?
10, yeah.
Yeah.
I was 10 years old. I got called to preach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it starts right there and takes you all the way through today, and I think ends in a very hopeful sort of forward-looking moment with a chapter called Some Enchanted Evening.
Some Enchanted Evening.
Yeah. What's that chapter about?
Well, it's about falling in love and getting it right. Not saying that everything else in love through life isn't right, but eventually you land where it takes your breath away because your vessel is able to handle it. And meeting Alex, and we didn't want to hear how. The one thing I wasn't a part of was the last 4 chapters of this book, because David had spent 2 years with us at that point, and we're standing in the kitchen when we had a beautiful AI voice, very Southern, read us the final chapters, and Alex and I ended up pretty much down on our knees, man, just saying thank you, God, and thank you, David, and thank you for this experience. This book is transcending. It's so beautifully written. If you love reading the pages, it takes you on a journey, and a very surprising journey. And if you love listening, you're gonna hear my country Alabama voice reading it to you. But also with the audiobook, also you're gonna get music and additional stories. So, whew, what an experience!
We're almost out of time here tonight. The book is What Mattered Most. It's available right now on Talk Shop Live.
That's me.
$29.99.
Can I tell the story?
Signed.
So I tell the story real quick. I
said,
when I got this book deal, it's kind of like getting a new record deal. The first thing out of my mouth was, "Am I going to be in airports?" And Carrie said, "Baby, you're going to be everywhere in airports." Then they said, "All right, you got to look your age." And I was like, "You mean 39?"
What do y'all think?
I love this cover. My friend Jeremy Ryan shot the cover.
Yep.
And I can tell you exactly. You put a Vince Gill song on, and I remember looking into the camera right at that moment. I actually remember this picture.
Oh wow!
So, how can I forget it?
Oh yeah.
Why can't I? No. We had a moment, didn't we?
There ain't no future in the past.
No future in the past.
That could be the title of this book.
It could have been.
We've talked about David Ritz a few times. David is Ty's co-writer, and he's written dozens of celebrity and influencer memoirs, co-written. Willie Nelson, Aretha Franklin,
Rolling Stones,
Janet Jackson. Just you wouldn't believe it. So we were very fortunate to get paired up with him. What was that experience like? Because you had never met him before, and suddenly you're sitting down telling them your deepest, darkest thoughts and secrets. And,
well, I love David from the first moment I talked to him on the phone. He's so funny and so in tune. And he said, "You know what? There's a maybe a little age difference in it, but we're telling the same story." Mm-hmm. I think this is a story that also David wanted to tell. But man, we weren't even in our new house. We were building it, and there was not even front steps yet. And David, I think, was 83 at the time, and I have to walk up the plank. The man jumped up like on the porch. I'm like, "I like you."
Amazing. Again, Talk Shop Live, click the shop button. If you're on Facebook, all you have to do is type the word shop in the comments and you'll get that link to order. You can order it on Instagram with the link in the bio, and the link is in the description if you're tuning in on YouTube.
Cool.
We're going to wrap this up. Any last questions in the chat? Anything that didn't get answered that you're dying to know?
Wow, I see a lot of my diehards on here, Tammy and Wanda and Bonnie.
Bonnie's in the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
how'd you meet Bonnie? That's a good story.
You know, I lost a tooth and I went to a dentist office in Augusta, Georgia. And Bonnie wasn't sitting behind the desk; she was sitting on top of the desk, and we became instant friends. And I met her family. And so that was 30 something years ago. But I want to just take this moment in closing to tell you guys that I never knew I didn't know what this experience was going to be like. But it has been the most rewarding. The best hours of my life have been doing this project, and it means I was going to try to make this without crying. It means the world to me that you guys are that you're going to read it. So thank you so much, and I really do love you. Merry Christmas.
All right, March 31st, the book will be out. You can pre-order it right now. This is your opportunity, your only opportunity to get it signed at the cover price of $29.99. So we're going to wrap up and wish you all a very happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right, buy the book. Come see us on tour. We love y'all. Thanks.
Bye, guys.